Every year in Trinidad and Tobago for the Easter weekend, we usually get at least one person drowning. Somebody sent me a video to review and they asked me, Denise, like, what do you think about what you saw in the video? So in this episode, I'm going to review my thoughts and share with you my thoughts, what I think is up with the video, how we can learn from the video, and how we can improve as a first aider. Alright, stay tuned. Hi, so Denise here, and welcome to another episode of Life Cycle 360. It's actually first of its kind, and I'm thinking about calling it Emergency Scenarios. Let's review. So a little bit about my background for persons who are here for the first time and may not know, hey, how I get to talk about or review scenarios such as drowning, right? So I've been in EMS now for over 16 years. That's emergency medical services. I've been an EMS educator over 12 years. And I currently work as a critical care flight paramedic. I'm attached to the search and rescue team in Trinidad. I'm actually one of only 2 search and rescue flight paramedics, country and the region. And I've created this channel basically to help educate, improve the understanding of different type of emergency scenarios, first aid, CPR, that's one side of it, wilderness first aid. I try to touch on different topics that could help improve what we think or consider an emergency, and different topics related to stuff like that. There's the other side of Life Cycle 360 that is dedicated to help with how we move, exercise tips, helping you to form posture, position, sitting for prolonged periods, what that does to you. It's all about improving your life. Life Cycle 360. It's a cycle of life. So that's a little bit about me. And if you like what you hear so far, I'm asking you, please, can you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification button, and share, like this video. What it does, it helps me to grow my channel, and it also helps me, or encourages me, I should say, to keep making awesome content like this so that you can learn more, so you can become more. Remember, education is life. So without further ado, I'm going to get on to this video. Let's see what it's all about. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's get into the video. Let's see what's on this. Now, I did see this video before. As we go through the video together, I'm going to chat about what I see and how we could have gotten better at what transpired here. Alright, so let me press play here. Play. Alright, so seeing them coming out of the water with the guy. What you have to be aware of is bystanders and people panicking. I'm also seeing, let me pause the video here. Right, so I'm also seeing somebody came out of the water with look like one of those little flotation devices a lifeguard has. So looks like he was rescued from the water. Not sure. Let's continue. So chances are he might have a better survival rate. I'm not sure. Let's go. Alright, so we are going on. Somebody is starting to do some sort of compressions on the chest. The lifeguard is coming over. It's difficult to tell, but I'm going to pause here. As a lifeguard, you have to now take control of that situation. You have to allow people to understand that, hey, I am going to see about this patient here. Now, one of the things I don't like to do is I'm not there. I don't know all the details of what is happening around. There's only so much I could see, especially from the person who is doing this video. But it doesn't seem as though the lifeguard is taking charge of the situation, and that is leading to kind of downhill slope from here. Let's go see what's happening next. Right, so I am seeing the lifeguard. Looks like he's trying to turn him to the side, which is good. There is a lot of fluid coming out of his mouth and nose. Again, we are seeing compressions taking place. So that is a good thing. That's a good thing with the compressions taking place. Maybe the lifeguard is talking with everybody and directing them as to what to do. Right? So again, some difficulty seeing what's happening next. The lifeguard is still there, which is good, so that maybe he is taking charge of the situation. More sideways turning, more fluid is coming out of the nose and the mouth. Notice they get also having some abdominal compressions as well. The more they press, the more fluid is going to come out. Lifeguard is still at the scene, which is great, like that. He does seem to be somewhat in charge of what is taking place. Right, so let's pause. Alright, so what is good here is they are doing some compressions. There is a side turn taking place every time there is fluid and stuff coming out of the mouth and nose to help with the airway, but I'm sure the airway is very much not so patent, or it's clogged because of that. So we need different equipment, pieces of equipment to help with this at the moment. We also need to get this person with his airway opened, so that if they do start doing any sort of mouth to mouth, or even the secretions that is in the area right now is probably blocking up the airway. So I would want to try to get him on a more stable surface, because it looks like the sand is very undulated. If they had a backboard there, it would have been great, but you have to do what you have to do with the situation at hand. So let's continue. So more abdominal compressions, turning him back on his back. I would consistently be doing compressions on this guy. His face is actually quite gray compared to his body. It's definitely, no breaths, nothing happening here. Definitely. Now you're seeing somebody doing mouth to mouth. The problem I have with the mouth to mouth is when you're doing or giving any breaths, that head, see what's happening when he breathes like that? If you are in a position that your airway is not able to be open, you're giving breaths, but the breath's not going anywhere, right? And that's because we have a lot of people, I'm not seeing the lifeguard anymore, we have a lot of people trying to help, and more fluid is coming out. And I think the more they see the fluid coming out, is the more they're going to try to help, and a lot of panic, I'm sure, is setting in here, especially if it's somebody, one of their friends. I do apologize. I don't like showing up much of situations like this with respect to the family who lost their family members like this, but it's all about educating each other so we don't go through this again. Right, so I'm going to stop the video here now, and let's talk about what really happens in a drowning and why it's so important that we need to get compressions and we need to have that airway properly open in order to help get the breaths in. You know, there's no real perfect scenario that can happen, and you're always faced with lack of equipment, um, adrenaline, and bystanders. To me, those are the three things that will inhibit a really good outcome for somebody who has been in a drowning episode, like what we saw in the video. Now, that was just my little 2 cents of what could come up with after reviewing it. But it's difficult for persons who have no training. They just want to help and they think they're doing things that is good, but it can be better because it's a life and death situation. Unfortunately, with drowning, the chances of survival are much, much lesser depending on how long that person has been underwater. So it's very important that we start doing the compressions, doing the breaths, also having the right equipment, but also getting something that was missing here, which would be an AED. Somebody who has drowned, is going to be full of fluid in the lungs, as well as most likely they'll be in cardiac arrest. So CPR and really good CPR is necessary for any sort of positive outcome when it comes to survival of a drowning victim. Now, as I said all that, one of the things I want to touch on is we at Lifecycle 360, we don't take our preparations for people who want to learn and be trained in CPR first aid. We don't take that lightly. And one of the things that is different to everybody else when it comes to certifying and training persons is we give you those very live and simulated scenarios to help you feel what it really feels like in a real life situation. If you have a group of lifeguards, we're going to focus on giving them scenarios such as this. We had some training with the Waves for Hope, the NGO in Toko, and their focus is, you know, doing surf therapy with adolescents and children, and our focus was on drowning. Our focus was giving them scenarios on pediatric drownings, and also how do you move somebody from an area, from the water, or even if you have to do it right just after the water. All these things make a huge difference. And you know, when I watch videos like this, the first time I watched it, I felt very saddened for the person who was, you know, who drowned. But you know, I look at the system of things, and we could do so much better when it comes to our interpretation or our perception of why do we do CPR training, why do we do first aid training, why it's so important not to take these things for granted. Because when it is a situation do happen, it's somebody's life that's been lost. It's not a car that you could repair, it's not a tire that blew out, it's a life that's lost. And if you are not taking this thing seriously, if you just want a certification, if you just want to tick in the box, then don't do it, because you're not here. If you're going to train and get a certification in these areas where emergency care is emergency care, you have to have a different perception of why we're doing what we're doing. Stop relying on calling 811. Stop relying on somebody else can do it. Because I always tell students, that person, it could be you. So what will happen if you are on the floor? Wouldn't you want better patient care? Wouldn't you want somebody to really be knowledgeable of what they're doing and take a firm action of, I'm in charge, I'm going to take charge of this, and I want to help. It's happening all over Trinidad, and our culture has really done a number on us, because we don't take things as the things we should be taken seriously, we don't, and the things we should be taken seriously, it's really not something we take seriously. And I'm talking to you here, guys, from experience, because I've had hundreds and hundreds of students pass through me in this lifetime, and the attitude is same. You do find ones that really want to learn, but there's also persons, especially with first aid, it doesn't happen to me, it doesn't happen to my family, so yeah, Yeah, I just need my certificate for my job or whatever. You want to do training or you want to be certified and become a first aider and really being prepared for an emergency, give us a call or you can leave us an email. I'll leave the numbers here and I'll also leave links below that you can check out our website, and you could also contact us for further information on bookings. We only do small classes of 10, which makes your experience of learning much better, your retaining of information and what you've gone through easier. So that's one of the things that makes us Life Cycle 360 that you're not going to get from anywhere else. It's all about getting you prepared for an emergency. So that's me ranting on this episode and sharing with you, as I said, the first of many to come. And I want to encourage you, if you guys would like me to review other videos that you have out there, you could always send it to me for reviewing and we could chat about it some more. We could learn from it more. The need for proper training in CPR, and not just training but follow-up training as well, because if you're not doing it, you tend to forget, right? Send me the videos, leave your comments below, and keep tuning in, and keep looking forward to the videos that I have out there, right? So thanks for viewing, guys. Let me know what you think of this video, and I guess I'll see you all next week. Take care. First Aid Fridays, Life Cycle 360. Education is life. Bye.